Good afternoon. Welcome back to Fujitsu Forum TV, where you continue to see live and exclusive coverage of Fujitsu Forum 2019's Media Day. The world's technology and business press have descended on Munich to understand the latest innovations and thinking from Fujitsu. Technology has the wonderful ability to help address many business and society issues, but not just deliver solutions to problems, but unlock great business value too. With me to share a whole load of insight around how customers are benefiting from the great work Fujitsu are doing. We've got two people perfectly placed to help us understand what's happening. We're joined by Paul Patterson, CEO and Head of Northern and Western Europe Fujitsu, and Rupert Lehner, Head of Central and Eastern Europe. Let's talk customers, lots of trends going on, lots of challenges in market. What are we seeing as the big headaches for boardrooms right now?
So it's a really big agenda, actually. So whether you look through the lens of regulation, what's happening in the European arena around regulation, what the government's doing, what the EU is doing, how do you trust customers, how do you manage my privacy? I think the headwinds that all of our industries have got in this region are enormous. That's before you get into how people, the whole human-centric side of this, how do people feel in the countries buying services from financial services or retailers or online? So I think in all boardrooms around the region, certainly in my conversation with customers, enormous worries. And I think technology through that lens can either be a disruptor or an enabler. And I think the more forward-thinking organisations are thinking, how do I harness the technology? How do I harness all this R&D investment from Fujitsu and some of our partners that you'll see here? Is a real worry to them. There's also an opportunity for them. And I think the way that my region and what my team are doing with customers and Rupert's teams are doing with customers is really thinking through how our technology, our partners, can make that real difference to them as they go forward. Now, there's lots of detail in there and it's hard to cover it all, but I think there's lots of intensity from us and our people inside our customer engagements about unlocking that potential. And I think it is about unlocking that potential for them.
What are you seeing in your region, Rupert?
So first of all, to add something what Paul have already said, I believe, of course, really the hot topic today is digital transformation. And every company, every organization is really faced with the digital transformation. And when we talk about digital transformation, we talk also about big data, cloud services, the right sourcing strategy. However, and that is the important point for me, we should not only talk about technology. It's also about people, yeah. And when you take topics like war of talents, to find really in the future the right people for the work what you have to do to transform your business models, that is, from my point of view, really a big challenge what every organization and every customer has.
I think the interesting thing about sort of hosting things like this for Fujitsu, over the last 3 years, I've seen the organisation change so much. How's it going to continue to evolve in the future to meet customer needs, Paul?
So building a little bit on what Rupert was saying also, I think there is always adjustment in our business model and our customer engagement. So putting those right people at the very front of our organisation, you might think of them as consultants or digital transformation consultants, really at the front of our customers with our sales team and our account team. So the first stop for us, you're seeing that customer intensity really drive up. The second part to that is how do we make sure our knowledge back into how we deliver globally is aligned with that. So it's not just a peanut butter approach to delivery. It's about really specific for government, for public, for financial services, for energy. So I think that change you're going to see from us, and we're in the middle of doing it actually, is aligning our resources, our quality resources to that earlier point in those industries. The second thing for me is about these agile teams. So we're spending a lot of money on hiring the right people, training the right people, giving them those types of skills to be agile in their thinking skills and their engaging with customers. You bring those Scrum teams together, CJ, can make a massive difference to our customers. And I think it's that focus you're seeing from us, rather than trying to spread it willy-nilly around the organisation.
Seems a bit of a daft question. I mean, the title of this year's forum, Driving a Trusted Future. Obvious question, why is trust so fundamentally important? What do you think, Rupert?
Yeah, of course, I believe trust was always very important for every organization and for every customer. But when you take the situation what we have in the moment, that the world will be more and more connected, that the world will be more and more complex, yeah, I believe no organization will in the future be able to solve all the challenges what we have by their own. That means you have to go for partnerships. In the area like this, trust is so an important point. And the other way around, take all the news what we have day by day with the fake news, with cybersecurity attacks and something like this, what we have. I believe that is also one of the points, yeah, that we have really to take care, that we have really trust in the organizations, we have trust in the people. And I believe also in the collaboration, what you need with partner companies and so on, that will only work, yeah, when trust is really available and trusted there.
We hear a lot about the co-creation message, fabric of everything Fujitsu does, built into the DNA. I mean, how has it helped to drive customer success over the last year? I know that's a big question, but give us an insight into how it's cut through for customers.
So we're definitely seeing how you bring teams together, multiple discipline teams, both on the client side, not just the IT colleagues, but those lines of business people, those finance people, those marketeers from the client side. And then from our side, clearly our experts, be they consultants or technologists, and then our partners. So when you bring them together inside one of our digital transformation centres, it's a very energetic, very creative, very outcome-focused activity. And I think there are examples, we're going to talk about some of them tomorrow, but Wärtsilä is a great example up in Finland. We've done some work with a number of train companies around health and safety on trains, particularly thinking about mental illness and how do we support their drivers and some of the issues that they've got in that space. That was worked through a digital transformation centre. So it's not just technology issues, but real business or societal issues that we've worked through in all industries. In government, we've done a number of pieces of work with government across the region actually, through DTCs, about what does that citizen journey look like? How does the journey look like for a citizen in terms of how they engage with local and public sector facilities? And that's quite different. One of it is clearly from a disability standpoint, are we being respectful of making sure that we adhere to the right laws, but also about the technology in that space. So I think across the region, multiple examples of, some of them not big engagements, some of them very small, but they all move the engagement along with the customer. Really quite well actually, CJ.
So attendees of Fujitsu Forum, they get to see 4 keynotes, 60 interactive breakout sessions, the expert talks with your subject matter expert, partners, customers. You've got the networking, the digital transformation zone. I'm going to bring this question to both of you. What are you looking forward to revealing to customers at Forum this year?
Also, first of all, I have to say the most important point for me is to meet customers, partners, experts, to share experience and to understand also really the whole Fujitsu Forum as platform for communication and to sharing experience. That is the most important point. Next to this, of course, when I take our digital Anila, fantastic technology what we have to drive on the end of the day, also our artificial intelligence approach is also one of the hot topics here at the Fujitsu Forum.
We had Dr. David Snelling earlier join us talking about the quantum-inspired digital nailer and the evolution with its alignment to artificial intelligence. If that piques your interest, do go and take a look at his interview. What about you, Paul? What are you looking forward to revealing?
So 3 areas for us. I think the evolution, the constant evolution of our multi-cloud positioning. So you'll walk into the centre here, you'll see how we're working with our partners in real-life client engagement. So the whole multi-cloud area for me, Rupert's already talked about cybersecurity. It covers everything. There's an awful lot of content here and actually real practical examples with customers. And then it would be rude not to mention the DTCs. I think the DTC experience, you'll see it as you walk through the front door, just brings to life how do we do that co-creation. Those would be the 3 for me.
So on the last 2, we're actually going to put a steady camera downstairs later when we're talking to Joe Box. We're actually going to give you the walkthrough from the entrance through to the Digital Transformation Centre. And then tomorrow, when we're doing some of the security segments, we're also going to take the cameras into the SOC in the box, I believe it's called, down here. And you'll be able to see some of those real-time analysis taking place on cyber protection, how you can get on the front foot with your security. Final question, what have we got coming up in the future technology-wise that's going to surprise and delight? And the reason I say that, I know you're on stage tomorrow delivering an important keynote. I want to know something that is going to happen in the keynote that you haven't yet shared with people, or a prediction on the future from a technology. Put you on the spot. What do you reckon?
Go for it.
As again, first of all, I have to say when we talk about this digital transformation, we are only on the starting point. even more will really happen in the next couple of years. Yeah, and I believe what we have really to understand when we talk about these changes today, we not talk only about IT technology. Yeah, we talk really about transforming business processes and full business models. And I believe that will be really the challenge, and what all have really to understand what the huge approach that is also for the future.
CJ, that's a really tough one. I've been in and around this industry 30 plus years, and I think if you go back 30 years and try and predict, here we are in 2019, what it would look like, really tough. I think the application of quantum computing or digital computing connected to data, connected to really fast networks, I think the possibilities of the future for humans, for science and for business is just unparalleled. I think it's a really tough call to say what would be those one or two things. But I think it's the combination of those three things, really giving it to all the young people and different people who'll be looking at this. Just go and experience it, go and apply it, go and see where it takes you to.
Great advice. It's worth saying the opening keynote tomorrow, you'll find these two fine gentlemen on stage delivering with President Takita, Driving a Trusted Future. You can watch that live and exclusive on Fujitsu Forum TV. We've got you uninterrupted coverage of that. Please do join us. We're not done yet. There's still plenty more insight to surface this afternoon. We'll be on air through till about 5:30 this afternoon, every half an hour. We've got guests like these two coming along and telling us what you need to know about your business, what's impacting your industry, and how you can innovate with technology and make a big cut through and unlock some value. Stick with us. There's still plenty more coming on Media Day ahead of Fujitsu Forum 2019, starting at 0900 CET tomorrow morning. Stick around.